you get the first page of the deck on, that'll be helpful. Cool guys, good morning. Thank you all for being here. The picture you see here is two photographs actually. They are both from the gate of IIT Bombay, one taken from the inside and one taken from the outside, right? And I was there along with my roommate Vibhor, which later on went to become my co-founder of CoCubes. And when we were there, we always thought that jobs were in plenty. You know, you will graduate, there'll be 10,000 people looking to hire you. You could go pick which one you want to work with, and all was well with the world. You know, then we graduated and came on this side of the gate. And we realized there were 4,000 actually only engineering colleges. In those colleges, there were 1.5 million guys. And these colleges were spread all across the country. And all the employers were in, you know, the metros, and nobody was actually going and hiring those guys. And he said, this looks like a problem. So we left our jobs and we started CoCubes to solve this problem. But actually the problems were much deeper. This is the ratio I'm showing you. This is called graduate enrollment ratio, right? So for a country, the graduate enrollment ratio is that if, let's say, there are 100 people at the age of 17 who should be going to college, who are there in the country at the age of 17, and only 20 are going to college, the graduate enrollment ratio will be 20 by 100, that is 20%. That means 100 people could have gone to college, but only 20 ended up in college, right? And it's one of the parameters that are used to measure the country's progress. So this is a slide which shows, you know, starts from 2010 global report, and it shows the graduate enrollment ratio for India in comparison to developed countries and China. So India was at around 12%. You know, China was 22%, and the developed countries 45%. 45 out of 100 were going to college, and India was 12%. And India said, the government said, we by 2020 will get it up to 30%. Sounds like a good objective, right? And actually by this year, which is 2014, we have managed to move it from 12% to 20%. That's supposed to be good. We actually have taken it from 12% and we have gotten it to 20%. But is it really good? Is it that what is happening? And I go to the next slide, and what I'm going to show to you is the percentage unemployment data from the Ministry of Labor and Employment across different kinds of people, starting from literate to graduate. And this is what the data says, that if you are illiterate, there's a 4% chance that you will be unemployed. But as you keep studying, and as you keep studying, there's a 32% chance, if I'm right, yeah, right, that you will be a graduate without a job. You know, we can laugh about it, but actually this is a very, very big problem, that the more we are investing in education, the more we are investing in ourselves, the lesser the probability of us getting a job. So why has it come to this? So I'm going to look at some of the things of why actually have we reached this point. And there's a simple experiment, you know, that I've done with computer science graduates. You know, so we were hiring a lot of times, and we'll get all of them in a room, and I'll ask them this question: how many of you know how to code? And if there are 100 computer science guys, you know, only around 20% hands, or less than 20% hands would go up. Then you ask them, how many of you actually like coding? And then the number drops to 10%. This is crazy. These are guys who are 21 years of age. They're going to graduate from a computer science program, and only 10% like coding, and 20% actually only know coding. Why has this happened? The first part is social or family pressure. You know, I am good at arts. I want to do drawing. I want to become an artist. My parents want me to become an engineer. If I can become an engineer, I can probably get married to a better girl, you know, or thousands of other things. Hope I get a job, which actually, like I showed you, which I'm not getting today. But there's a lot of social or family pressure. How if you went to someone and the father said, hey, my son is a plumber, good plumber, right? Nobody says this, right? What is the second reason? So, okay, you went into education, so you didn't want to do it, but okay, you've spent 4, 5, 10, 15 years doing it. So what is happening? Our education system is outdated. Our education system is so outdated that we can't or are not able to produce, not able to teach candidates, students what they're supposed to be taught. And here are some stats to do that, right? This is a student-teacher ratio from year 2000. which shows that the number of students that each teacher has to manage. So when you look at all other countries, it is 1:14, 1:13, and when you come to India, it is 1:26, twice the number of students, half the chance of getting educated, straight off here, right? And India said we will improve it, okay? And we improved it at 2.28%. So these are number of teachers in millions, faculty that we have. We said we will improve it. We improved it by this ratio, but our enrollment went up by this. So we are actually worse off. So as of today, 45% posts of faculty in this country are empty, right? And we think about why are we not getting educated in the first place, right? Let's go ahead. This is what Wikipedia says on youth unemployment, and we look at India. And I'll read it out for you, right? It says the youth unemployment rate was around 10% in 2005, but India hasn't, reliably reported statistics to the United Nations over the years. However, there has been an increase in young adults remaining in school and getting additional degrees. They call this phenomena time pass because the youth are simply passing time in college while waiting for a paid employment opportunity. This is what is happening to our country. And let me show you the final stat, which illustrates that the problem doesn't lie with the society or the candidate. It's a large issue, policy problem as well. On the left, you see this triangle. And for commerce to function well in a country, you should have, for every graduate, 4 diplomas. For every diploma, 4 people in ITIs actually doing skilled work. That if you have this, then the country will grow well. You will have all kind of people for all kind of jobs. Take a guess on how this looks in India. We have 2 million graduates. We have 1 million diplomas. We have 1.5 million ITIs. Nowhere close. For 2 million, we should have 32 million at the bottom, or we should have lesser on top. Right? And let me go back to why has this come to this. Everybody wants their son, daughter to become a graduate, to become an engineer. They want it, they are willing to pay for it. Government has said you can open colleges. So somebody opened a college, said give me 10 lakh rupees, I'll make your son an engineer. Don't worry if he'll have a job or not, I don't know, right? And the government allowed all of this to happen, right? Over the last 10 years, this is where we are. So what can we actually do to take care of this? So what can we do now? And I'm going to present 3 solutions that I think are useful. One is out in the future. The second one is for the current, for the midterm solution, and the third one is current, that someone who is college can do, right? The first one talks about vocational education. So vocational education is essentially equal to skilling. So if you say somebody is doing vocational education, that means he could be a beautician, he could be a data entry operator, he could be an automotive technician, he could be a tourist operator, he could be anything, but he's skilled at doing that particular job, right? And over the last, I think 3-4 years, government has spent a lot of time, energy, money in doing this. The photograph I show you here is from, STAR program. This was launched over the last 1 year. Government spent 1,000 crores to actually skill people. And the way they incentivized people to go for skilling was by saying, hey, if you actually go do this certificate and you clear this certificate, we will give you 10,000 rupees. Right? And this actually prompted 10 lakh people to come forward and take part in this program and become skilled. Right? A lot of problems on the ground, etc. But that's a step forward. And if we can do more and more of this, and if parents can let their children go do some of these courses, we will see our lopsided some shape coming back to becoming a triangle. Right? This is one. The second is midterm. We already have these institutions in place. We already have colleges in place. We already have people going to these colleges. So we need to do something about those as well. So I have 3 solutions that are here. One on the policy level. Can UGC AICTE, rather than saying that this college is okay, you know how the colleges are okay? One of the larger parameters is, do they have these number of classes? In those classes, do we have these many chairs? Right? Do you have a lab? All of these infrastructure parameters are used to rate and approve colleges. Can that be replaced by saying, is this college producing an employable graduate? Right? And can that be the basis for letting colleges function or not function? Right? Another radical thought in policy. Right now, we go across, we give a IIEEE exam, Even if I fail and I get 0, I can go and pay 6 lakh rupees and become an engineer. Can we stop that? Can we say anybody with cognitive score less than this or less than this should not become an engineer? He cannot actually go and pay his way to become an MBA engineer or any other graduate, right? And this will automatically force people in the right direction. These are two policy changes that I believe can help India. The second part is training. So we have colleges who can give degrees but are unable to teach. We have private institutions who can teach but cannot give degrees, right? Students, parents, everybody wants degrees. Can both of these work together? Can they work together where the college can market the degree, provide the infrastructure, and a private company can do revenue sharing and come and actually do the entire courses which are in line with what the corporate needs? Can these solutions be put in place, right? The third one is assessment. So can we actually, rather than measuring a student's potential when he or she graduates, and they're actually measured by the company which is going to hire them. So CoCubes does close to 1 million assessments every year for multiple companies. And we know this is the first time that students after 15 years of education are coming across saying, are you employable or not? Can we do that earlier? Can we do that continuously at every semester and keep doing that to ensure it doesn't come to the end? And one of the universities has done a very innovative solution with us. What they did was they said, here is my course. I'm going to give this course to my faculty, and I'm going to give this course to you. I'll let the faculty teach, and why doesn't CoCubes does the examination? We do the examination. We do the mid semesters and end semesters, right? And this has helped improve the quality of education significantly with the candidates, students getting feedback actually in first year, right? This is the midterm. The third one, the third solution is so simple that all of us know it. All of us know that this is required to get a job. And it is surprising that we still don't work on it. The third solution is to improve your communication skills. Here is an email, and we get close to 1,000 emails every day on our support from different engineers. Here is an email written by an engineer. This email has 10 mistakes, if not more. Grammar, vocab, spelling, everything, right? And this is not the worst. There are worse. Right? And if I actually look at data, when we do these 1 million exams, and this is data based on 1 million assessments done for 1 million candidates across the country, 45% of them are failing because they can't clear the English section. It's an MCQ section. 45% are unable to clear it. Right? After 15, 16 years of education, should this be the reason that we are unable to get a job? That we are failing to go apply for a job, right? So, and if you need more proof to say, doing English helps, here is more proof. And this was done by economists, 3 economists together. They did this paper, and they said, they tried to say, did research on that what is the return if you actually know English. And if you are a male, and if you know fluent English, you can earn 34% more compensation, more salary in comparison to somebody who doesn't know English. That means, and think about, 34% might, when you look at thesis salary here, from 30,000 it goes to 40,000, is it a big difference? Think about this, what you could earn in 20 years if you knew English, you will now take 30. That is the difference it creates, right? And if you are a female, 22% better returns to English, right? So should this be allowed that our people after 16 years of education are unable to get a job because they don't know A, E, I, O, U? That shouldn't be the reason why we are unable to get jobs. And this is the one thing that everybody who's out there can correct today by himself, herself, without waiting for any government, any policy change to happen, right? Let me end with a cliche. What do we desire for to live a good life? Roti, we need healthy food to eat. Kapda, we need clean clothes to wear. And makaan, we need a roof above our head to sleep at night, right? But to get roti, kapda and makaan, you need a job. And India, which is a country of 1.2 billion people, with the highest percentage youth population in the world, what it needs today is for our youth to get skilled and for them to be able to get a job, to be able to do this, right? Thank you. Thank you.